Hello there, everyone. This is Soul Super 17 here, and let me get first, as usual. I know this picture does not paid video. Alright, okay. So here's the thing. I made the Mineta one, a Mineta what if before this. But I made it totally different. Oh yeah. This I don't want this picture not paid video. Yeah, okay. So, like I was saying, I did not. I made a Mineta what if, like I said in my idea. And I made him totally different. Alright? And if nobody likes that, what if? Alright? If it gets a lot of hate, that'll be the only time. That'll be like the only what if of that series I'll make. Okay? That is it. Like, that's the deal. Like, if no one likes it, it's not. There's no more. There's like no part 2. Okay? Alright, so here's the thing with this one. This one is what if Deku had alchemy, and the god of, alchemy and such is going to, be a part of it. Edward is going to be, in this too, but his ghost will come over to My Hero Academia and teach Izuku alchemy from the age of 4 all the way up to the age of 12. And then he's gone. Alright? And I may do something that you'll like. So hopefully you guys will. Anyways, let's get into this part 1 of what if Deku could use alchemy. Alright. So, as we start off, Izuku find out that he's quirkless. Alright? And during that night, that same thing happens in canon. His mom says she is sorry. But also, while that was happening, the god of alchemy is looking. Oh, he can't look since in the white void, but he just says, "There's no one, to play the game I like, to play with. No one, willing to do what they did, because everyone learned from what happened with the father's incident, everything, that they won't do that again." So he basically looks through multiple different portals of our realities, and he sees Izuku, which he says, maybe I can, give this kid some power and see what he can do with it as entertainment and watch. And so, during the night while Izuku's sleeping, he has Izuku comes into that white void. And he says, Izuku, wakes up though in it, and he just sees a, what Edward, would see. Basically a person of white right behind, with a door right behind them. As he goes, welcome Izuku Midoriya. I am the being, of alchemy. With the door of truth right behind you, as Izuku looks. And there's that's what he sees, multiple symbols of everything on there with, not even that much stuff there. It's just, one thing, a circle. Basically his tree for alchemy. And Izuku does say, where am I? He goes, you're just in my, my own, little home. And it sounds like Izuku's voice and such. And he's like, Izuku's kind of scared and such, but he goes do not worry, I'm here to, have a little game planned for you. He goes, what? He goes, well, it's not more of a game. It's to see something. See if I give you power, what will you use it for? And I'll be watching you to see, what would happen. Which Izuku goes, what do you mean power? I don't have a quirk. And he goes, tell me, what is a quirk? As Izuku explained a quirk, what it is and what's the different types. And he goes, oh, you won't have none of that. You'll have alchemy. Basically a power that is, more, how can I say this right to you? More deadlier than a quirk in the right hands. Which Izuku goes, how? He was like, oh, you can transmutate anything into a weapon basically. or use it to create something else. Sounds fun, right? As Zuko thinks about it, and then he says, "Yeah. Um. So, can you give me the power?" He was like, "Well, kid, I can awaken that the power of alchemy within you, and I can even do something else. I can have what looks a old friend, not friend of mine, but an old acquaintance of mine. His name is Edward Elric. He was a very, very fun person, to see when he came here, along with the only person to ever defeat me and win in the game." And so Izuku goes, "What?" And, he says, "He'll teach you alchemy. He'll stay with you for a period of time. Multiple years, but not your whole entire life. Understand me?" As Izuku says, "Yeah. When we'll have to meet," he was like, "in a park near you. Don't worry. I'll send him there, kid." But now, as he snaps his fingers, the god of alchemy, I'm calling it the god of alchemy. I don't know its exact name, besides weird, white creature that talks, basically. As Izuku gets a feeling in his, like, in this chest of his, he was like, what's happening? He was like, "Oh, I just gave you power to use alchemy without a transmutate circle. You'll learn that from Edward. So, have fun, kid." As Izuku wakes up. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, which is what Inko tried to wake up Izuku, but he never want to wake up. It looks like. So he runs out of bed and he tells his mom they have to go to the park near here, near their home. And she goes, "What? You haven't eaten?" He goes, "No time." They go to the park. So it's kind of foggy out, and Inko doesn't understand why. But so what happens is, when they get to the park, there's somebody waiting there for them, as it is someone with blonde hair and a ponytail, basically, and wearing a jacket, and very tall. As Inko goes, "What the is?" As the man gets up, as Izuku walks forward, which Inko says, "Izuku, what are you doing?" He's like, he doesn't listen. As this man kneels down, he goes, "Are you Izuku Midoriya?" As he nods, and Inko runs over and says, "How do you know my son's name?" As Izuku says, "He's here to help me train, Mom." And she goes, "What? But you don't have a quirk." As he says, "I have something better than a quirk." As Edward nods and says, "You have alchemy, which don't rely on it too much, kid. Train your body. That's the first lesson we're going to teach you, alright?" As Izuku says, "Okay." Which she goes, "Huh?" As Edward explains to her about what alchemy does and what it can be used for and such, which she finds impossible. So he asks Izuku to clap his hands and touch the ground and think of something, which Izuku basically does. He claps his hand, electricity, lightning, like what Edward does happen in anime, like, lightning comes off it and such. And then he taps, I mean, not that taps, he touches the ground, and then he moves his right hand up. He was thinking of a, toy, as in it creates a little All Might action figure. So, which is, Inko's shocked by this. She didn't know that this ever existed. Edward says it doesn't exist in this world. But, well, it's very unique only to, people in my world. Only select people can use this, but no one can use alchemy without a transmutate circle. And besides me, when I was younger and alive, in which Izuku goes, "What?" He goes, "How?" He goes, "Well, I died and you're the one being that we know, brought me here. He's allowed me to stay here with you until you master how to use the power of alchemy, kid." Which Izuku understands, and so, Inko says, "How?" As, Well, he has a book on alchemy with him, which was in a bag that they didn't see because his coat was covering it. It basically, covers all the lessons that Izuku's gonna be going through. And so, his training starts. Izuku does not, show off his power to anyone. That's the one thing he doesn't want to show off. He wants to see if Bakugo, he learned that maybe if Bakugo thinks like he doesn't have a quirk, but he still be his friend, which it turns out he won't. He won't be his friend, so Izuku kind of just stopped like hanging out with him, stopped idolizing him. Edward kind of became his new idol. Like he also became his own father figure, which Inko was happy to have around. And the god of alchemy was watching him, and he was actually amused that Izuku. Well, no, he was actually not amused. He was impressed with Izuku. The training's going pretty well. I mean, the basics were everything that what it's an exchange that an exchange of it. I think I'm trying to remember a lot of things about alchemy. I know to make something you have to exchange another thing or transmutate it or something. But he learns the basics of alchemy from Edward, and he does like see that Izuku had a infinity for knowledge on this, and his mind it's like very creative. He's able to like create stuff that were not that it was somewhat a little bit complicated, but hey, he was actually able to do it, create them, which Edward was very impressed by. So was Inko. This goes on for the next 12 years, and Edward, well, Edward like meets the god of alchemy, like right, just like right behind the door. And he goes like, "Your training went well with the kid, but it's time." That's what I would say. Which, Edward's going like, "What? What do you mean?" You're like, "Well, the kid is always gonna need guidance, and you've inherited him. He wants to become a hero, right?" He goes, "Yeah, of alchemy." So, how about this? You help him become the #1 hero, and then you'll disappear. You have whatever choice you can make in your life. I won't interfere with you. Alright, Edward? As he goes, "What's your plan?" He's like, "Nothing. I just want to see how I can help out a kid that needed power, and during his darkest moments." Also, he kind of reminds me of you. A little. Which Edward just kind of laughs at that a little. He goes, "But he ain't an idiot." He goes, "Nope. He's learning from your mistakes, and he's technically making his own along the way, like every other human would. Now then, see you around." In which Edward does wake up too, and well, he tells Izuku about what the you know the guy, well, the god of alchemy said. Seriously, I do not know the freaking like white creature's name is that talks to you like yourself. It's like it could be anyone because it's in like their own person's like area. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm just calling it the god of alchemy. Like, please understand that I don't freaking know, and I'm not bringing anyone else in besides Edward. And so yeah. So, anyways. So basically, Zuko and Inko, like, hey, they had him live there, and they're happy to have him. So yeah, Mitsuki, met him a couple of times, and she asked Inko about it. She just says he just teaches Izuku, some things that most people in this world couldn't even teach him. Which she was like, huh? So like over the years, she tries to find out what Izuku's learning, as Mitsuki, cares about Izuku in this one, which Bakugo doesn't even understand why he says he's quirkless loser, which Mitsuki always says like, Izuku's nicer and kinder to people than you. Like, seriously, like, why is it that you let your freaking ego get to you? Like, she does not treat Bakugo like how she treated him in canon, you know? So it's like, he should not really have much of an ego, but it's like the fault of other people. So yeah. She tried to, like, knock some sense in him about saying that his quirk may be powerful, but it is very dangerous, and you should, you know, shouldn't show it off or be not do anything too destructive with it. In which he doesn't care, he doesn't listen. He's just gonna do what he thinks is right. Just being like, I'm the great Bakugo Katsuki. I can do whatever I want. So yeah. So well, that was like when he was like 10. She met Edward, and well, like since now that he's staying, Mitsuki like comes over like that day too, and she asks him, "What do you teach Izuku?" And what she just says, "Alchemy, nothing more, nothing else." And maybe some life choices to make. She goes, "Huh? Like alchemy?" As he goes, "Yes, Izuku, could you?" He goes, "Sure thing." As he makes their silver spoon look gold. Like he just taps his hand together and next boom. He does it to make it look gold. Which Mitsuki says, "What the?" And they explain what alchemy is and such. She goes, "Huh." So basically it, uses like his mind along with what he wants. He goes like, "Yeah, pretty much." I mean, so just note I have not seen all of like Full Metal Alchemist or like Full Metal Alchemist like brothers, blood brothers. Oh, sheesh, it's been a while since I seen it. But anyways, I'm just trying to go off based on what I know. But since I'm not going with the anime, I'm going with My Hero. So yeah. Anyways, so I hope you guys understand that. But Mitsuki, is pretty impressed by Izuku. She asks, "Are you gonna let this go to your head?" And Izuku says, "No. I mean, I would have been showing off like Bakugo would have, but I haven't because of Edward. I mean, my teacher here." As Edward says, "Yeah, I kind of told him not to show it off and see what Bakugo does." And he told me, he says, "That's not a friend. That was just a guy who thinks he's better than everyone else." So, yeah. Oh, hold on, everyone. Alright, I'm back. But anyways, so Mitsuki understands, but she does wish that she can pass, like Izuku could pass his knowledge onto Bakugo, but he says he's probably too far gone. So yeah. So anyways, so after that, Mitsuki doesn't. I mean, she comes over every once in a while to check on Izuku, talk, chat. That's it. And then the day of the anime. It goes everything to canon throughout then, but he's been training in secret, so yeah, but everything in canon goes similar. Teacher, everyone, laughs at Izuku. Izuku doesn't care what they think. He just tells them, yeah. Keep laughing. Just you guys wait. When I get in, you guys will all be like wondering how. And I'm never gonna tell you. Which Bakugo thinks as a challenge. He goes like, "Oi, Izuku." He goes, "Oi, Deku. What do you mean by that?" And he goes like, "Nothing, Bakugo, nothing." Which he's always saying. I mean, he kind of been saying Kachan, to Bakugo, which Bakugo finds it very weird. He goes like, "Huh? What do you call me?" He goes, "I called you Bakugo. That's your name, right?" And Bakugo just thinking, like, trying to process this. Which the teacher just tells him, sits down, and he does. He's just processing this. He was like, "He said my name. What's going on? Why does the nerd change all of a sudden?" Which, Edward gave the okay for him to not act like the scaredy cat, which they had planned. Which everyone's confused too. So, they all know that he's going to try to get into UA. Bakugo doesn't, still trying to process this till the end of the day. He sees Izuku just leaving. He says, "Oi, don't you dare try to get in UA," and Izuku just waves him off saying, "I am, don't worry." Which Bakugo gets mad. So he runs after him, and he gets underneath the bridge. No, no, I'm not making this. Yeah, he gets underneath the bridge. As then, what happens next is the sludge villain does attack, which Bakugo thinks, I have to go do something. As in, like, Izuku, hears the guy, but then, so all of a sudden, he just sees, well, Bakugo can't see what Izuku does, but he does see that, I mean, he does hear, like, electricity coming out of nowhere, and then, like, multiple pillars are just, like, basically stone coming at, like, the sludge villain, and hits him. And then Izuku does run over to the sludge villain. I mean, it just goes right through the, takes off a piece of sludge. And Izuku does run over, claps his hands together, and then just strikes the sludge villain with it. Like, all of a sudden, he doesn't realize it. Alchemy is, like, changing, like, the sludge villain itself. But for some reason, he's, like, seeing the quirk. What happening is, like, the sludge villain's quirk was, like, broken. And so, all of a sudden, he just goes, put him more, like, using more of the alchemy to, like, the electricity go into the sludge villain's quirk and fix it. Change it to fix it. In which it does, as Izuku, gets his, like, hands away, taps them again, and has, like, the rocks, like, go back over to, like, where they were going to fix where it was. The sludge villain, like, changed back into human form. He's like, I'm human. He goes, yeah, you're welcome. Goes to the police. He goes, oh, All Might was following me. I'll just wait for him here. He goes, really? I was like, yes. I was just doing villain work because I was changed into a sludge. Thanks, kid. He was like, no problem. Actually? Huh. Yeah. So Baku wasn't, like, saw this. Izuku sees him and he's like, he shrugs. He goes, like, I don't really care if he saw it. Which Baku just, like, sees on All Might. Izuku just leaps. Like, Izuku's not really, he's a fan, but it's not like, he doesn't really want he doesn't really want All Might's autograph. He goes like, hello there, sir. Have you seen the sludge villain? He goes like, All Might, I am the sludge villain. Some kid fixed my quirk. It was broken. And he fixed it. So, I want to turn myself in. Which All Might doesn't say no kid. He sees Bakugo. He says, was it that boy over there? He was like, no, it was someone else. Someone with green hair that left that way. He goes, alright then, villain, I'll take you in. And thank you for coming, cooperating with me. He was like, no problem, All Might. So, All Might just walks away. Like, he jumps away, carrying him. He asks him more about the cases. I don't know what he did. He just clapped his hand together and suddenly the earth moved and turned to fists trying to hit me, take off some pieces of sludge. And then he ran towards me, tapped his hands together again, and then just, clapped his hands together basically, and then touched me, and next thing you know, a couple minutes later, I'm back to my old self. Which All Might finds very intriguing. So, oh yeah, I forgot, this is not going to be a long one, because I got to, I want this to upload real quick, so then I can get the other What If uploaded too. But anyways, so, after that, Izuku trained for 10 months, improving on his, he has trained his body. He has trained it very, not intensely, but he's trained his body so that way his stamina, his speed, and everything else is, somewhat near superhuman levels, but not really. So, yeah, so basically he's just training more with alchemy and his body and his mind. Edward, tells him that, it's good to train. Just don't train, too intensely to make your body hurt and such. So, yeah. Also, Deku's not going to get One for All. He's just going to have alchemy. So, yeah. And something else. That's going to make him very overpowered. But anyways. So, after, So, after, the 10 months of training and the studying, it's the day of the, the UA exam. As then, he's just walking in being confident. He does not trip. He does not see Bakugo. He takes, they swim out with the Rin exam. He knows he's gonna ace it, so, like, he does. He aces it. Then, after that, he does go into, like, see in the President Mike, will, give an explanation on the combat portion. He talks to, he sees President Mike is only there. Because it turns out that he actually got it done pretty easily. So yeah, so he goes over to President Mike, and well, they have a chat. So President Mike's saying, "What's your quirk, kid?" And he's like, "I don't have a quirk." He was like, "What?" As then he says, "I have this." As he taps his hand together, as then like he basically then like puts his right hand on it, on the desk, as then he lifts it up as well. He has like a little like miniature version of President Mike there. He's like, "Whoa, kid, that's amazing." But you said that's not a quirk. He goes, "Yeah, it's alchemy." He's like, "Alchemy?" So you mean like in those fantasy books and like what wizards and warlocks would do and such, right? He was like, yeah. How though? If it's not a quirk, he was like, trust me, it's kind of complicated. He goes, huh. All right, I believe you, kid. So, I mean, how does it work with? Does it use your mind, your imagination, like it does in the books and stuff? He was like, yeah, a little bit of mental fortitude along with your mind and knowledge of different compounds inside different materials and such, and you can manipulate it. It's somewhat easy, to do. So wow. So they chat. Everyone's coming in, and he goes, "All right, just take your seat, kid." He's like, "All right, thanks." And for chatting, he goes, like, "No problem." So yeah. So after Baku gets in, he sees Deku. He says, "Oi, nerd! Like, I told you not to come here." And he was like, "Yeah, and I don't care. Just zip it." And so Bakugo just kind of like irritated. He's kind of yelling at Izuku, and he's just not. But Izuku's not paying attention. So yeah. President Mike, explains about the 3-pointer, the 1-pointer, 2-pointer. Then the 0-pointer he kind of just was about to get to, but well, Ida interrupted him. And well, Izuku doesn't do anything. Like President Mike just says, "Sit down already, kid. I was about to, get to it." Ida did his thing, and well, President, and he also complained about, Bakugo being rude and such. Which Bakugo was about to say something. That's when President Mike said, "No, just sit down, kid. I was about to, get to it," which Ida does. So he just says it's just an obstacle and such, and that's it, and that they're going to, just run away from it if needed. So yeah. So what happens next is, he goes into his cannon area like with Bakugo, and Izuku doesn't see her, doesn't like talk to Araka and like can't, so he doesn't go over to her, see if she's alright. But he just standing there, just like thinking of multiple ways how he's gonna win, and he just says improvise to himself. That's it. That's what I'm just gonna do. Improvise. And so, yeah. So Ida doesn't come over to him and such, and well, the gates open up, and everyone just starts running. Ida's, does his thing. Izuku, somewhat keeping up with him, which surprised Ida, which that's kind of amazing to him. So yeah, so then right when like 2-pointers are coming out of nowhere, Izuku just like claps his hand together, puts it on the ground, moving both hands to along the ground as alchemy is going through it. As then he just then pulls them has them going upwards as in multiple spikes coming from the ground, hitting the robots, destroying both of the 2-pointers, and then he just does exactly the same thing again. Claps them, touches the spikes that that came out of the ground, but uses them to create two weapons, like swords, which he did learn how to use, right? So he just counted down multiple robots, which the swords break. Then he does clap to onto the metal of the robots that were destroyed, that was nearby, and creates another a pair of he creates a spear, and which then he just fights along, which President everyone in the although heroes are looking at are very impressed by this. Like even All Might is impressed. So Nezu is also. Sorry, but anyways, along the way, what's happening. Mizuku's like ranking up points, pretty fast actually, and I'm not like having his like alchemy compared to his stamina, but you know, I'm just saying since he's been working out, he has like a high stamina, so yeah. But I mean, right when the 0 point is coming around, he's about like 100 points, and the same thing happens with Uraraka. But what happens is differently is instead of Izuku, running, like he's in that area where the 0 point is at in Uraraka. So what happens is though, Izuku, he thinks to himself, okay, I gotta do something. What can I do? I can run up, make a pillar, have it go right through the robot's chest, and then I run up it, and while that's happening, I clap my hands together to make multiple different pillars come from that, hit the arms of the robot, and so he goes, but no, no, and then he just has one idea to create a, well, he decides to clap his hand together, and then he slams on the ground as all basically the concrete around him and everything is starting to like change and morph, which everyone's finding different, like very weird and unique. But Zuko's thinking of basically a multiple head like an Orochi, like Orochi with the multiple headed snakes. He's thinking of that, but with like the abilities and such to go after like the robot's arms and such, and then like in the middle of basically well, let's say a woolly mammoth head will pop out and destroy it, which that does happen. Multiple snake arms go right towards the robot's arms, basically trapping them, like holding them down. As then all of a sudden, like lightning's going right near Uraraka, as then also a woolly mammoth's like face comes out of the ground with the tusk and everything. It goes right into the robot's, tearing it up from all the way up to its head and takes it off and destroying it. As the robot, is then like falling backwards and the arms, does come off of it. And then like the snake's heads are going right back as he was controlling them through alchemy. Which, that did take a lot out of him though, so he's like tired, he's like huffing and puffing, and he goes like okay. That's difficult to do. Oh. So he gets up and he just walks over to Uraraka. He, basically helps get the rubble off of her, and like he does lift up the piece for her leg to get out, and then he just like has her like lean on him, and he has her walk over, which, then like time ends and such, and Recovery Girl does heal Uraraka. She asks about Zuko if he's fine. He goes like, I'm fine, don't worry about me. So yeah, so after that, um, you know, he's like, he's going back home. Like, he's just on the way home as he gets a call from Mitsuki asking him how he did, as he just told her everything he did. And she goes, wow, that's amazing. He was like, yeah. So, if I get into UA, you want to go and celebrate? She goes, probably going to celebrate with my son. He was like, alright, fair enough. So, yeah. So, after that, he goes home. He tells his mom what he did, which she's proud of him. He even tells, like, Edward. As Edward says then, well, if you get into it, there's something I want you to have. As then, like, he basically, he didn't know this, but he had a package was in like Edward's like room that, Edward knew because he found it, but Decker didn't know. As the package was Edward's old coat, the red coat that he had. He goes, I want you to wear the Suzuku. This was an old coat, my old coat that I had. So I want you to wear it when you become a hero. Alright? As Izuku nods and says, I'll be glad to wear it. So a couple of days pass and Izuku, Let's figure out what else he can like create with his quirk. I mean, not his quirk, with alchemy. What he can change the properties of, and what else he can do. So the letter came in 5 days later, and well, All Might and Nezu appears and says, "Greetings, Zuka Midoriya," as Nezu says first. Goes, "You actually passed and even corrected some of the error. I mean, even corrected me on the test for you. Very impressive, actually. I'm actually quite curious about you. Basically what I'd say, you actually got the top score. But, allow All Might to tell you what your score was for the combat portion." As All Might, walks over and says, "Well, Zuka Midoriya, congratulations on passing. And I just want to say, I was also impressed with your combat skills. Whatever you were doing was very unique and impossible, really. But you were able to do it. Your quirk is very amazing. And so, I'd like to tell you about the combat portion. You basically got 100 points. And for the saving and helping out that girl, you gain another 80 points. You beat my record. Surprisingly enough. But I noticed you even destroyed some actual extra robots. 3-pointers to be exact. So, altogether, you got around almost 200 points. Very impressive, young man. So, me and Nezu would like to say, welcome to Your Hero Academia. And, well, Izuku, Edward, and, Inko all go out and celebrate. And, yeah. Basically, Izuku, has his hero costume designed. Basically, Edward told him about, what he wore when he was younger. I mean, when he was, Full Metal Alchemist. So, Izuku, kind of designs off of that. So he's gonna have, the Edward look, but it's gonna have, some things added onto. It's gonna have basically, some different, materials on him. Not on him, in pouches and such. So, metal rods and stuff, are gonna be a part of it. He's gonna be, use alchemy on them to, change them and everything else. He's even gonna be able, to combine them together and such. He's basically just gonna have, some pouches, for snacks or a watch and stuff around, just in case of anything. So, yeah. So, that's where I'm gonna leave us off, because I'm gonna have to do something soon, and I only have a couple of minutes to get ready for it. So I'm sorry, everyone. I'm gonna have to cut that. I had to cut this video short. So yeah, I do hope you guys enjoy this what if, and that's where everything's gonna be off. So yeah, stay safe out there, everyone, and bye.